Kung Fu Panda is a 2008 DreamWorks film directed by Mark Osborne and John Stevenson. It is about a clumsy panda who is seemingly mistaken as the Dragon Warrior. At first, Kung Fu Masters Shifu and the Furious Five are opposed to him, but eventually realize that Po has what it takes to defeat the vengeful Tai Lung. The protagonist of the film is Po, who works at a noodle restaurant and is a huge fan of Kung Fu. He loves to eat and is not fond of physical activities. He is hardworking, kind, and friendly. Po's strength lies in his personality, persevering and unpredictable. His weakness, on the other hand, is his self-doubt. His overarching goal in the film is to follow his dreams, learn Kung Fu, and to fulfill his role as the Dragon Warrior. Another major character is Master Shifu, a former student of Oogway and current teacher of the Furious Five. He values peace and dislikes it when things get out of his control. He is strict and logical, but can also be open-minded. Shifu's weakness is his guilt towards Tai Lung, as he feels responsible for him becoming enraged. His main goal in the film is to find and train the Dragon Warrior. The chosen scene mainly focuses on these two characters. Shifu enters the dining room to announce the death of Oogway and the imminent arrival of Tai Lung. Contrary to his previous attitude, he now insists that Po is the Dragon Warrior and is the only one who can defeat him. Po, however, is overwhelmed by this and tries to run away. Po and Shifu then argue to try and reach an understanding. Ed Hooks, author of Acting for Animators, states that words are preceded by movement and that acting is more than just what the characters say on screen. Po's particular motivation in this scene is to seek confirmation, while Shifu's is to try and convince Po that he can turn him into the Dragon Warrior. Pose-to-pose and solid drawing. Being a 3D animated feature, the movie most likely follows the industry pipeline of blocking key poses using the pose-to-pose method. Characters are in good poses, they read well and are balanced, while their postures reflect their emotions or personality. The framing and composition of the scenes are simple but clear. It makes use of the appropriate angles and are tweaked to accommodate the characters' heights. Arcs. It is natural for characters to move in arcs, and it can easily be found throughout the scene. An example would be the startled Po moving in a nice arc as he goes from kneeling to standing. Squash and stretch. An important aspect of squash and stretch is to not overuse it, especially in a film that aims for a semi-realistic look. Here, Po is baffled and tries to think of an alternative to stop Tai Lung. His face undergoes a series of facial expression that utilizes the principle well. Secondary action. This is an action that accompanies the main movement. It is an acting choice and can tell us something more about the character. For example, Shifu is informing everyone in the room that Oogway can no longer help in stopping Tai Lung. This moment is made more impactful by Shifu looking reflectively at the staff once owned by Oogway, clearly showing the loss he feels. Follow-through and overlapping action. Our bodies move at different rates and is subjected to inertia. The best example is when Po runs down the hill, hands in the air and leans forward and back throughout, all at different speeds. Po is also forced to stop as Shifu drops from above. The follow-through is evident as his upper body continues forward before finally settling back. Slow in and slow out. The application of ease-ins and outs can give a desired snap to movements. This can be observed through Shifu's poking and swatting. It is forceful and looks as if they hurt. It is in line with Shifu's personality and conveys that despite his newfound acceptance of Po, he still does not understand him. Anticipation. After being tricked by Shifu, Po tries to stand up. First, he uses his left hand to push him to a somewhat sitting position, pauses, and then bends his knee to propel himself upward. Given Po's size, those small movements give the right impression of weight, thus making it more natural and realistic. Timing. Timing determines how fast or slow a movement is, but can also be used to convey a specific emotion. In an interview for Animator Island TV, Ed Hooks says that
emotion tends to lead to action. Your audience empathizes with the character. They see what the character is doing, and then with empathy, they look underneath the action and identify with the emotion.
the panicked and frustrated actions of Po take center stage as his doubts about everything intensifies. This is visible through his body language. The same can be said for Shifu, body stationary and eyes darting around only to yell out his own frustration of having no solution to the problem.
How? I don't know. I don't know.
Appeal. Po and Shifu have great appeal because of all the animation principles working in tandem to create a natural and thoughtful performance that invokes an emotional response from the audience. Animated features like Kung Fu Panda aim to tell stories that resonate with the audience. As mentioned by Hayes and Webster in their book, narrative is driven by character progression, and this arises from tensions between characters or tensions within the character. As new facets of a personality are revealed, engagement comes from the audience being surprised and wanting to learn more. This emotional scene between Po and Shifu succeeds in being an engaging performance. Our suspension of disbelief is maintained, we learn more about the characters, and the audience are able to relate and show empathy towards them.